Jason and I stood in the stands the entire 90 minutes and sang our hearts out with the Voyageurs. And we got a 3-1 win. On any other night, that'd be fantastic. 3-1 at home. What a great win. Unfortunately, so no matter what we did tonight, it was meaningless. We're out of the World Cup qualifying for 2018. We're done. As we started singing after the final whistle blew, we're going to Qatar. We're going to Qatar. You won't believe us. I know you won't believe us. I know you won't believe us. We're going to Qatar. That's all.
Stop us! We're going to Qatar! We're going to Qatar! We're going to Qatar! And you're not gonna stop us! And you're not gonna stop us! You're not gonna stop us! We're going to Qatar!
Ted Godwin for HTN at the Yates Street Tap House. We've just witnessed history. For the first time in 36 years, Canada has qualified for the World Cup by beating Jamaica 4-0. I'm here with Drew Shaw, longtime Canada fan. He and I have been together for, 25, 30 years now. So what are your thoughts immediately right now, Drew? How do you feel?
I knew they were going to qualify. I knew they were going to win today. But it's been a long journey. And I just think about my journey with you, my football journey with you, going to Swangard with 5,000 fans in the late 90s and watching Canada lose on dodgy calls, on terrible refereeing, on everything under the sun.
I think, were you at the game where Paul Pescasolido got sent off for snapping the flag?
Slapping a flag, Paul Pescasolido, late 90s at Swangard. They were wearing black jerseys that day, and it was just like a decade or 2 decades of, is it ever going to happen? And you and I went to Edmonton. You know, we've gone to Edmonton and watched us lose. We've watched to Vancouver and watched us lose. And it's just amazing. The league, we've got our own league. We have got 3 MLS teams. Both our national teams are winning games, winning championships. It's just like, I just think about watching Vic United games 20 years ago and thinking nothing was ever going to change and just feeling it was hopeless. And now it's like women's, men's, MLS, CanPL. Wow, like, are we finally where we belong? Like,
there is hope, there is optimism today in Canadian soccer. Yeah. We're going to Qatar. We've got our league going. Everything's coming up roses at this point. And we've got lower leagues too, right? We still have the divisions down below. League One BC is going to be starting up this summer. This is the development pathway we've always wanted, we've always needed. Do you think we're just going to build strength to strength from this, or is this a fluke?
What I want to see, because you and I remember the old PCSL days when the Okanagan Challenge had like crowds, in Kelowna, and we had, crowds here in Victoria, and playing against that Seattle team, there was a crowd for Vic United, and wouldn't it be amazing to see Kamloops and Kelowna develop that supporters culture, 500 fans out at the game or 1,000 out at the game, and have road trips like. We're going to have road trips for Pacific over to the mainland coming up, just to see that tide rising everywhere. And we know Lucas McNaughton, Caden Chung, these guys that can go from the CanPL to the MLS teams. We want to see that League One BC. We want to see a Pacific FC that is full of guys that last year were like League One BC stars. It's almost like we're going to join the rest of the world from a footballing perspective, and it just feels so... It feels so liberating. It feels like a relief to me, like like a pair of wings, like a weight is being lifted. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, and we've also, of course, got international soccer coming this summer.
Yeah.
Pacific FC is going to be playing in CONCACAF League. So we're going to see an opponent. I'm not sure if it's Caribbean or Central American, but that's going to be an experience just in and of itself.
Doesn't even matter. Does it really? I mean, remember 3 years ago, I remember we were talking at the Canadian Premier League, the brand launch, and I remember thinking, my dream is to watch my hometown team play in the Continental Championship. And it's like year 4, we get to do that. Like, I never would have thought it would be that quick. It's just, that's going to be amazing to have an international match for our club, our pro club on Vancouver Island. I mean, wow.
And what a warm-up for Qatar. And Qatar now, the talk is actually going to turn from do we get out of the group stage to do we do better? I mean, this team has shown its quality. We have shown how many goals we can score. And I think we've done it in the last few games without Alphonso Davies. Alphonso Davies joins this team in Qatar. How far do you think we're going to go?
Oh wow, we're going to win a game in Qatar. Like this country is going to go mental because we are going to beat someone in the qualifying round. I think we're going to win one, we're going to tie one, and we're going to lose one in the qualifying round. I think we're going to go into the knockout rounds. And
so we got the Canadian caution here. So you're saying we make the round of 16, but no further?
I think it's very rose-colored glasses to say that we're going to go past that, not knowing who that draw is. But I think it doesn't matter who we have in our pool. I think we're going to beat one of the 3 teams in it with us. I don't think this team's not going to beat a team in the World Cup. There's no way this team is going home without a win and without a knockout game. They got to do it. They have the talent, and they know they have the mentality. Like they don't have to fear. Like they've beaten Mexico, they've beaten the U.S. Those are top 20 countries in the world. Much as we like to mock them and enjoy beating them, those are top 20 countries in the world. And I look at some of the countries in Europe that are still ranked higher than us that I'm not afraid of. Like this team is not afraid of, and you know they have the mentality. You know they don't. You know they can beat them. And I think Mark Anthony Kaye sending off last game, I think that was a good timing. I think it was a good thing to do because it keeps them grounded and it makes them remember this is the World Cup, this is the sport. If you do that, you even just that little shoulder, you'll get carded in your den. And I think for our players, that was a really good teachable moment for Herdman to be able to talk to them about.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to see Kaye come back and learn from this and go ahead into the World Cup. So I just want to say that from my perspective, I have to agree that we're looking for good things here. We're going to be going into World Cup with our heads held high. I think that's the main thing to do. And here we are. We have 1 game left. We've already qualified. We have another game coming up against Panama. We could still finish top of this group, and which will actually affect our World Cup pot rankings. So how do you feel we're going to do against the last game in Panama? Panama still, of course, has something to play for. They're playing for 4th place.
Well, we saw what Costa Rica did when they had something on the line. Panama has the exact same thing on the line. I think we always knew when we were looking at these windows that this last one was not going to be a gimme and could actually maybe be the toughest one of the bunch. We thought Canada might be scrapping to qualify. That's now not the case, yay. But that doesn't mean that Costa Rica and Panama away aren't 2 really tough games. And anyone who's followed CONCACAF knows that. It's not a surprise to any of us. I don't know. I think with Panama wanting it and with us not needing it, it'll be tough. The only thing that might be the game changer in that is Canada knowing, like you say, if we can actually get the ranking points to get into the 3rd pot rather than the 4th pot, that would greatly change who we face and how we face them this at the end of this year. So maybe that's enough motivation for Canada. I don't know. I'm not in that room. But I think the mental fortitude that these guys have, like when I love watching Richie Laria. I think that guy has a mean streak a mile wide, and I think he controls it. You see Tajon Buchanan, he has attitude and swagger. And then you got Atiba Hutchinson who has steel. And you just you go down the roster, all these guys, Vittorio, what he brings, Estacchio, what he brings, Johnston, what he brings. Every one of those guys is such a larger than life, almost a cartoon character, and the qualities they bring. it might be so much that having lost to Costa Rica, these guys are going to say, Panama, you guys are like not even a speed bump, like we are going.
And I got to say that I think under John Herdman, motivation is not an issue. These guys are going to be going motivated into that last game. Anyway, thanks, Drew. I appreciate you talking to us. This is Ted Gaudin for HTN from the Yates Street Tap House. We'll hear the noise.